Good morning, church with you. We are so glad to have y'all here with us this morning. Y'all stand and sing with us.
Sing this out. When all I see is the battle, you'll see my victory. When all I see is the mountain, you see the mountain move. And as I walk through the shadows, your love surrounds me. There's nothing to fear now, for I am safe with you. Sing this out, come on. So when I fight, I'll fight on my knees with my hands lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you, and every fear I lay at your feet. I'll sing through the night. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. You give Jesus a shout this morning. There's nothing impossible for you. Let me hear you sing this next part. When all I see are the ashes, you see my victory. When all I see is the cross, God, you see the empty tomb. You go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadows. You win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. Sing that out. An almighty fortress. You go before us. Nothing can stand against the shadows. You win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power. Sing it out one more time, really loud. An almighty fortress. You go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadows. You win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. So when I fight, I'll fight on my knees with my hands lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you, and every fear I lay at your feet. I'll sing through the night. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. Give Jesus another shout this morning.
Man, welcome to Church with You Online. We are so glad that you're joining us this morning. For those of you who are with us every single week, man, we are glad to see you. And for those of you who are here for the very first time, welcome. Welcome. It is so amazing that you found us and you're hanging with us this Sunday. Now, we want to connect with you guys. We want to get to know you. We want to know where you're watching from and all that good stuff so that we can love on you like we like to do. So if you would, do me a favor, go ahead and fill out an online Connect card. You can do that by clicking on the button in the live chat or at the top of your screen. Now, I know it's weird putting your information online, but let me tell you, this comes with a hassle-free guarantee. The only thing we do with your information is take it and send out a letter to you at the beginning of the week and let you know how grateful we are that you were here and how you can get more connected here at church with you. Now, we are most definitely not going to call you 1,000 times. We are most definitely not going to send you 1,000 emails or text messages. And depending on where you're at, I can guarantee you we're not going to show up at your house. So, go ahead and fill out that information and let us know who you are. Now, I want to go into a time of giving. I want to talk about the face value of your giving. Now, you may give 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe $5,000, okay, to the church. But here's what I want to let you know. That the face value is 20, 30, 40, 50, 5,000, but the eternal value of your generosity is so much more. God can do so much with so little. And that's His work. We're faithful, we give, and He multiplies. And that is a big deal, and great things are happening through your generosity. So there are tons of ways to give. You can give online, you can give on the app, you can give, set up recurring gifts, or you can send it in the mail. Whatever works for you. I appreciate your generosity. You guys have always been a super generous church, and I look forward to see what God can do through your generosity. Now let's go ahead and jump into the message, State of the U.
trust. Greater things are still ahead. You're not done yet. You're not done yet. Oh no, you're not done yet. You're not done yet. You're up right now. You're doing a new thing right now. So God, let your glory come down. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. You're up to something right now. You're doing a new thing right now. So God, let your glory come down. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. 'Cause you're moving mountains right now. And you're breaking chains right now. So God, let your glory come down. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. No eye has ever seen, no ear has ever heard, no one could ever comprehend. Your word will be enough. Your promise we will trust. Greater things are still ahead. You're not done yet. You're not done yet. Oh no, you're not done yet. Greater things are still ahead. You're not done yet. Tell me everything's alright. Your power, your presence breaks strongholds. King of heaven, when you speak, mountains move. I believe there will be breakthrough. You alone can take my scars and piece by piece restore my heart. Take what's broken, make it whole again. Oh, your power, your presence breaks strongholds. King of heaven, when you speak, mountains move. I believe there will be breakthrough. There will be breakthrough. Shake the mountains, break the walls apart, open the heavens. Almighty God, you are overcomer, defender of my heart. By your power, the oceans open wide. Your fire falls down, heaven and earth collide. King Jesus, forever by my side. Yeah. Shake the mountains. guys so much. Y'all have a seat and check out church news.
A little bit of church news got a little bit of church news to share with you. First things first, Cold Green Revival. Cold Green Revival will be going on January 10th through the 13th. On the 10th, we'll have it during our normal service.
Regular Sunday service.
Huh?
It will be just like our regular Sunday service.
Yeah. Okay, don't say normal, say it's regular. January 10th will be our regular Sunday service. And then the 11th, 12th, and 13th will be nightly in the evening at 30. Put your socks on every single day. That pizza smells so good to the big boy.
Connect group leader sign up. Connect group leader.
Connect group leader sign up. Okay? Guys, listen. Connect group leader sign up, guys. Hey, guys, that is going on right now. So if you want to lead a group, sign up. That's good. I had pizza already this week, and I'm going to eat it again. It was so good. Bye-bye. Merry Christmas!
Christmas is over.
On the 23rd? With tomorrow?
The 27th. This is what this is.
Oh, you did a 2-for-1 special. You didn't tell me that. Happy New Year!
What's going on, everybody? Hey, welcome to Church with You. Man, we're so excited that you're here. Hey, and here's what I can tell you is we do have free coffee in the lobby. And it's pretty decent from what I heard. So I'm gonna need some help today. A little energy's a little low to end 2020. So we're gonna need to step the game up with that. All right? But Cheyenne brought a prop.
I did. Because I knew you guys weren't going to have it. It's like the Christmas hangover that everybody has. They're all exhausted. But my daughter told me to bring this because it would help. Okay, so let's see.
I'll hold it.
Some of you know what this is, huh? All right. So when I'm preaching and you're not doing a good enough job of amening me, this is what's going to happen. So it's like a cue. Ready?
Yes. So there you go. If you're not rowdy, we're just going to let the little play microphone be rowdy for you. How about that? Hey, welcome to church, everybody. Hey, if we haven't met yet, my name's Eric. This is my beautiful bride, Cheyenne. And we actually started...
Yes.
I don't know. Was that a dude that started to clap over there? Hold up. Hold on. We actually started Church with You in 2014, and today we got Enterprise, we got Ozark joining us, and we got Church Online. So come on, welcome everybody to church this morning. Come on. Love it. Hey, man, we're excited about 2021, but how many of you know, I heard this saying one time that how you stop a year, how you end a year is how you start the next one. And so we're going to...
your grandma?
I don't know who that was, to be honest.
I don't know. Did your all's grandma tell you that what you do on New Year's Eve is what you do all year long? That's what my Nana says.
And something about black-eyed peas.
Yeah. I think everyone's going to eat those this
New year,
right? Isn't that the health thing? Everyone's eating their black-eyed peas this year, right?
So those are like popular?
What's what you're supposed to do for health?
Those are disgusting.
Yes. That's why nobody did it. And then coronavirus. So.
Oh, I thought it was like a Croc thing.
It's your fault.
Like Crocs are back in style now? Like Black Eyed Peas are back in style? I don't know. Anyway. Moving on.
It's another dad joke nobody got.
So I know. My dad joke the other day was incredible. Y'all just missed it. But man, welcome to church with you. Basically, here's what we want to do. We want to celebrate some on 2020. Because how many of you know it's been a ringer of a year. And I just think we need to celebrate it because we had the year and we're still here and we're still going strong. Come on, somebody.
It's good.
Right? 2021 is going to be better. But God still did some stuff through 2020, even if we didn't see it with our own eyes. He is still faithful and He is still good no matter what you see in front of you. And that's what we want to kind of end 2020 on and move into 2021. And it's this whole thought about the church. And we're not just saying this because we're pastors or just because we started one, but because we love Jesus and we're a part of the church. Like we're a part of the bride of Christ. And I think if we end the year with a strong belief that, hey, we're going to do whatever we can do to build the church, then we'll start the year with the same mentality of building the church. And come on, I believe that's what we're called to do. And I got that belief from the whole fact that Jesus said He came to build the church. And if Jesus should be about it, then I think you and I should be about it as well. So the first time that the word church is mentioned in Scripture is mentioned by who? Guess what? Okay, that's if you grew up at church at all, you know the correct answer is always
Jesus.
Jesus. So it was mentioned the first by Him. And this is how He mentioned it, Matthew chapter 16, He mentioned it like this. He said, on this rock, this statement, right? He had asked these guys some questions. Hey, who do people say that I am? Right? They mentioned a couple of people, and then He came back to them, and He says, but hey, who do you say I am? Because how many of you know it matters more what we say instead of what everybody else says? Because it matters what we believe instead of what everybody else is telling us to believe. So they said, on this rock. So what rock? This statement that they made, you are the Messiah. You are the Son of the living God. And Jesus said, you got it. Ding, 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 ding. You got it right. On that statement, I will build my what?
Church.
My church. And then this is my favorite part of that whole verse. And the gates of hell will not prevail against it. The gates of 2020 will not prevail against it. Because how many of you know there was some hell that you went through in 2020, but the gates of hell will not prevail over your life. It doesn't matter what you see. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter how big the mountain. God is still moving and He's still working, and the gates of hell will not prevail against His church. So if Jesus was all about building His church, I would say that you and I should probably be all about building His church as well. And whether you know it or not, even in the middle of all the fear and the doubt and the insecurity and the uncertainty that 2020 brought, how many of you know Jesus still worked right in the middle of it all? Because when you have a whole bunch of fear and insecurity, it's just sometimes better that you just take a look back and see what God did for you then, to have faith that He'll do it for you again.
Yeah.
Come on, somebody. So we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate 2020 and the church and what Jesus has done in the church. You ready?
Yeah.
You excited?
Yes, and I'm ready. So make sure that you come to par. You come up to par because we might have to. Uh-oh. Way to go. We're on a budget, okay? Our Christmas budget was a budget.
Dave Ramsey.
Yeah. All right. So we wanted to start off by celebrating what I guess we find the most important of all at Church With You, and that's salvations. And this year alone, we had 152 salvations.
Come on.
Those are people who are not going to hell, but are going to spend forever with Jesus because of you guys.
Yeah.
And what I love about those 152 salvations is a lot of them I don't think we would have reached had it not been the year that it was. I know for a fact that there's people in other states that accepted Christ on our online platform that literally would have not had the opportunity because we wouldn't have pushed to launch online in 2020. It wouldn't have happened. And so those people accepted Christ only because of this year. And I think that's a huge thing to celebrate. That's something He did. He built that church.
Yes.
that way.
Come on.
I don't know if I like it, but it was awesome.
Come on. And then you had a high school friend.
Yes. So a girl that I went to ninth grade, she was my ninth grade science partner. She accepted Christ on Church With You Online in Oklahoma. And then what's cool is like watching her feed, like her and her husband have gotten back together over Christmas. And like, I just think life change is happening all around. Like he is literally building his capital C church in the most unique and cool and not fun way.
Yes.
Like if we're being honest, it's not my favorite way, but it's still good. So we got to celebrate it.
Still moving.
And what's really cool is one of the things that the staff gathered together, and we had this big, huge meeting. It was all going to be so pretty. And like the calendar.
Before March 2020.
Anyway, so we did all of that. But one of the things we really wanted to focus on is leading people into baptism, making sure that they understand what it is, and like ushering them into taking their next step of baptism, because it's a very important step. If you haven't taken it, this would be a great time to sign up for baptism. But we can still, could we whip that out so we could raise this number up? Because it's still 2020.
Yeah, it'll just be cold.
It's cold anyway. So this year, we were only 6 baptisms short of what we were last year. And I think that's a huge thing. We were shut down for 3 months, and we had 30 baptisms this year alone.
Come on.
I think that's awesome.
That's a big deal, because when you only go like a little bit more than half of the year and still get to the same number, man, people are moving, people are shaking.
Yeah.
And in the middle of all this too, like Cheyenne said, we didn't plan to launch Church Online in 2020. The pandemic made us launch Church Online in 2020. Are you following me?
You said in first service that we birthed Church Online, and I said it was a painful birth. Very painful.
Very painful. But majority of them are.
Yeah, well, how would you know?
I don't know. From what I've heard. But it was. So we birthed that. And then not only that, we took in the middle of a pandemic, we took a portable location, and we took them from set up, tear down every single Sunday to a brand new permanent facility in Ozark. Come on, give it up for those guys. I know they're going crazy. They love that space, I'm telling you. And all of that done debt-free just by your generosity in the middle of a pandemic. Come on, I know that people are feeling one way or the other. You're losing jobs here, you're losing jobs there, your hours are getting cut here and there. At the end of the day, we did all of that during the middle of the pandemic. And then on top of that, we didn't change anything when it came to the year-end giving. Like every single year, we have a year-end giving, and it goes specifically toward something, right? So what we're going specifically toward this year is a new enterprise location, because this is a lease facility. It's about time. Let's get out there. Let's get our own stuff, because we're going to need it so that we can continue to birth more locations and more campuses out of that. So we got to use a different word. What?
We got to use a different word.
Not
than
birth.
Yeah.
So that we can start
there you go. That's better.
more campuses out of that campus. So at the end of the day, we still did that at the year end, right? So the goal we set for that one Sunday was $150,000. So even in the middle of a pandemic, even in the middle of people feeling the weight and the pressure, I just want us to celebrate what we saw on that one day. You ready? We saw $69,901 given in one day. One day. So that our enterprise campus can move into a permanent home. And we told you, we even went a step further. We said, hey, to do that, to take a step, we're going to need about $300,000 to take that first step. We made that known to the church. And how many of you just want to know where we are on the process? Are we ready? Are we ready? Did we hit it? Did we make it? Are we close? Come on. I'm ready to give it to you. So we have, toward that $300,000, we have $219,901 right now. This going straight toward the building. Come on, man. This is incredible. In the middle of a pandemic, with everybody going crazy, with everything happening to you, all the circumstances, all the fear, all the doubt, all the uncertainty, people still showed up and said, hey, listen, we're going to give to that because somebody else's sacrifice made a way for my life to be changed by the power of Jesus. So I'm going to step up. I'm going to jump in there, and let's continue to reach people with it. And man, that's what we're doing. Even though it looks different in 2020 and it doesn't feel like a win all the time, Jesus is still building his church.
Yeah.
Come on, he's still building his church.
And some of you have asked, some of you have been asking, like, where is everybody? You know, like, people have asked, like, why are there so many empty seats?
Yeah.
Number one, people are online. They really are. They're still engaged. They're communicating with us. We do know that they are actually still a part of Church with You, and they're online. But also, I don't know if you guys, and how many of you went to the Christmas services, but there was a moment where you look up and all the candles are on, and you realized how many people were here. We get the privilege in the year of 2020 to still celebrate an attendance number.
Come on.
And I think this is so exciting because this attendance number is only a couple of hundred short of our attendance number last year. Yeah. And most churches are not getting to do this. We had almost 700 people at those 4 services across 2 campuses. I think that's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. So even through all of that, I mean, people are still here. They're still longing. And I think even more so now than ever before, people are longing for hope. And people are longing for a place to be. People are longing for a sense of purpose and passion in their life. And that's what I want us to get today, is I want us to understand, moving from 2020 into 2021, I want us to understand that if Jesus was about building his church, even though we might not have seen it, even though it might not have looked like what we wanted it to look like in 2020, he still moved. He still held true to his promise. The gates of hell still are not prevailing against his church, and he is still building it right now. And if he's about it, then we have to be about it. But in order for us to build it, we got to get to a place where we understand what the church is. Yeah. Because it's not the building that used to be Grand's Buffet. Come on, somebody. There was
Enterprise Power Sports.
Or anything else. There was a rotating little buffet line, right? You didn't know what happened behind the back wall.
That might be a church growth method, though.
Like, I mean,
buffets come back.
It's not the building. It's not the building. It's the people. You are the church. And when Jesus made the statement, I will build my church, come on, he's talking about you.
Yeah.
He's talking about the gates of hell will not prevail against you. Come on, we got to understand this. We got to understand what the church is in 2020 so that we can have a great understanding of that going into 2021 so it'll change how you and I live our lives every single day, day by day. So we want to show it to you from a very, I would say, unusual passage of Scripture. Would you say unusual?
Well, it's unusual for you. But all the ladies in the room have had this verse or this passage applied to them ever since they were an adult. So we're going to talk about the Proverbs 31 woman, right? And all of us are like, oh, yay, fun. Because this is... But here's what we get to do this time, is we're going to turn it around a little bit, and we're going to include the guys with us. Because what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the bride, which this is an ideal bride in that passage, but we're going to talk about the bride of Christ.
Come on.
So that includes all of us, and it's a really cool way to look at what the church is. If you walk through this passage with us and put the word church where she is.
Come on.
Who could ever find a church like this one? Like this one?
Not very much. It's weird.
Yeah. The church is a place of strength and mighty valor. She is full of wealth and wisdom. The price paid for the church was greater than many jewels. The church searches and continually to possess that which is pure and righteous. Yeah. The church gives out revelation truth to feed others. The church tastes and experiences a better substance, and her shining light will not be extinguished no matter how dark the night.
Come on. Come on.
The church is known by her extravagant generosity to the poor, for she always reaches out her hands to those in need. She is not afraid of tribulation.
Come on.
For all of her household is covered in the dual garments of righteousness and grace. Her husband, which would be Jesus in this scenario, is famous and admired by all. Even her works of righteousness she does for the benefit of her enemies. There are many valiant and noble ones, but the church has ascended above them all. Charm can be misleading, and beauty is vain, and so quickly fades. But the virtuous church lives in wonder, awe, and fear of the Lord. And the church will be praised throughout eternity.
Come on. Come on.
Simply put, the church never ends.
Come on. And I need you to know that. Because if you read that verse like a woman, and this is to you, you can never live up to that. Like that's standards that are set way too high for you to live up to. But when you put the bride of Christ in there and you read Proverbs 31, it will change how you view the church.
Yeah.
The price paid for the church were way more than many jewels. Come on, the church's light will not be extinguished no matter how dark it gets. Come on, the church will be praised throughout all of eternity. Come on, I need you to understand that. When you read that scripture, go home today, when you read Proverbs 31, just put the church in there. Or better yet, put your name in there.
Yeah.
Because you are the church.
Yeah.
And you exist for the world. And God says, I will build my church. He is continually building your life. It doesn't matter what you see in front of you. He is continuing building your life. So in spite of your depression, come on, no matter how dark your life gets, Jesus is building your life with the light of the world inside of you, that no amount of darkness can overshadow the work that he is doing in you. Come on, somebody. Like, no matter how much anxiety and fear is ruling your life, that Proverbs 31 said the church will not fear tribulation. It will not fear trials. Come on, you will not fear the next mountain in front of you, because you got the power that raised Jesus from the dead within you. Come on, this resurrection power in you can make every mountain in front of you bow down in front of you. Come on, somebody. This is what, when you're looking around and you've lost your job and your checkbook looks like it never has before, and you're living paycheck to paycheck, not knowing if you're ever going to make it or not, when you look at that verse said the church is full of wealth and wisdom, and she is always reaching out to the needy and to the poor. Come on, God is your provision. He is working in your life to give you everything that you need, not only for you, but for everybody else around you. Come on, we got to get this.
Yeah.
Jesus says, I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. So come on, leaving 2020, moving into 2021. Come on, we got to understand that the gates of hell will not prevail against his church. It will not prevail against you.
Yeah.
Because you are the church. So if you're missing some of that hope that comes with that promise, because that's a promise to you, and I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. He knew the moment he built the church that we would go into a battle.
Yeah.
He knew it. But he gave you a promise. The gates of hell would not prevail. If you don't know the hope that comes with that promise, then I think it's probably because you're standing in the wrong place.
Yeah.
You're standing in the wrong place because you're watching people play and you're not a part of it.
Yeah.
You're not a part of it.
It's hard to reconcile the way that the Bible tells us that who we are and how we should feel with what we really feel, especially in 2020. It's hard to reconcile the depression and anxiety and just numbers whenever that's not what it really looks like. But the thing about it is if that's you, if you're lacking that hope, and if you're lacking, like he said, you're not in the game. Like, I think it's really interesting. In town, there's a burger joint that literally says, "Pray for our nation." Everyone sees the battle that's right here. Yeah. Like, there's always been a battle. There's always been spiritual warfare. There's always been that. But literally, no one's questioning it this year, right? Like, it is so evident that the burger joint is advertising by saying, "Pray for our nation." Yeah. Like, people see this battle that we're in. And if you're not fighting the battle, you're not engaged. Yeah. So if you're not engaged, you're not going to have the hope. You're not going to have the security. You're not going to have the strength, because you don't realize who you are. Because you don't have your identity as the bride of Christ. So for me, as the bride of Eric, I have a lot of security, and I have a lot of hope, and I have a lot of love, and I feel really good in my spot as the bride of Eric. Some of you guys don't have that luxury. I understand that. As a spouse, you don't have that same thing. However, my mom likes to tell me all the time that, you never know, because on 60 Minutes, pastors cut up their wives and like spread them in the backfield all the time. So he's human. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. I feel pretty confident that he won't fail me, but he could. I could fail him, but you know who's not going to fail anybody? He can't fail. Jesus cannot fail his bride.
Come on.
He won't fail his bride. He's not capable of failing his bride.
Yeah.
He will always deliver. He will always be there. He cannot fail us because the church will never end.
Yeah, the church never ends. So normally on the last Sunday of the year, we give you the word for next year, right? So we have a word for every year. Last year it was thrive, right? Or this year it was thrive during the year of 2020. But we're going to give you more than just a word. The word for next year is strength, right? Because strength comes from resistance. Well, if there's anything that you've had in your life in 2020, it's been resistance.
Yeah.
But what you can take away from 2020 into 2021 is the strength that comes from resistance, the strength to tackle the battle that is in front of you, to conquer the land that Jesus has on the other side of 2020 for you. But with that, we're gonna attach a phrase to it. And it's that phrase that she's mentioned a couple of times, and it's that phrase that came up on the screen once, is that whole phrase that church never ends. Come on, that's this promise.
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter what 2021 looks like. It doesn't matter if there's another shutdown. It doesn't matter what's going down in your neck of the woods. It doesn't matter the job loss. It doesn't matter. Come on, at the end of the day, the promise is the promise. The promise is the church never ends. And next week when you come, there's going to be a little sign out front. And guess what it's going to say on it? Come on. So does this thing say that? Did we program that to say church never ends? Like what's the sign going to say? It's going to say,
the church never ends.
The church never ends, because it's going to be a reminder to me and you every moment we pull into the parking lot that this thing is being built not by you and not by me, but it's being built by the King of the universe that's going to continue to build it, that's promised you and promised me that he will build his church and the gates of hell will not prevail. You're going to have somebody roll into the parking lot and they don't know where their last meal is going to come from, and they're going to see the sign, church never ends. Come on, somebody. Like, our serving doesn't just happen at church. It never ends. Come on, our giving doesn't just happen at church. It never ends. Come on, us following Jesus never just happens at church. It happens all the time.
Yes.
So if you and I are going to take the strength we built in 2020 to accomplish everything in 2021, it's going to take you and I realizing that the church, number one, never ends. But for you to get that hope, it's going to take engagement. So the challenge is, if you're sitting on the sideline watching somebody else run the ball down the field, you miss the huddles. You miss the moments where we're down by 14, but you can see it in the other person's face that we're about to come back.
Yeah.
Come on, you miss it. You miss the engage. If that's church online, engage.
Yeah.
Like, tell somebody that you're there. Like, leave a prayer request. Pray for somebody else who asked to have some prayer for them. Come on, engage in that. If that's at our physical locations at Enterprise or Ozark, that means don't just sit in your seat and watch service happen.
Yeah.
That means don't just be a consumer, be a contributor in the process. For you to understand that there's hope in the promise, you're going to have to be close enough to the promise to experience the hope.
That's good.
And the promise is, I will build my church. So 2021, engage in it.
Yeah.
Because if you are living right now without hope and without purpose and without passion, it may just be where you're standing.
Yeah.
And you may be standing on the sideline watching everybody else play, but you're missing out that we're about to make a comeback.
Yeah.
Because you don't feel it in the huddle, because you're not a part of the game. You got the jersey, but you're not playing. It's time to play. We got ground to take.
That's good.
And we got Satan to kick in the face. Come on, somebody.
Yeah.
Hey, we got people to reach, and it's going to take us engaging. So if you haven't engaged, and if you're a follower of Jesus, let me tell you why you're living a little bit hopeless right now. It's because you're not close enough to his bride. You get close enough, and you'll realize that he's continually building no matter what it looks like around you. But if you're here today at Enterprise or Ozark or Church Online and you've never said yes to a relationship with Jesus, so you're hearing all of this hope and passion, and you're hearing God's going to build it and the gates of hell is not going to prevail against it, but that's not what you're experiencing. Your depression is so dark around you that you can't even see tomorrow. Your anxiety is so heavy that you don't even know how to respond to what's happening to you, and your fear is taking control of your life. Can I tell you the reason that you're experiencing that and you're not experiencing the promise and the hope that comes with it is because you haven't said yes to a relationship with the one who makes it all possible. Because the power that raised Jesus from the dead, come on, that ascended him back into heaven, sitting on the right hand of the Father, that same power lives in a follower of Jesus. And it doesn't matter what you face. There's hope in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And if you don't have hope, no matter what your 2020 looks like, no matter what your 2021 is about to look like.
That's right.
If you don't have the hope that knows that tomorrow is going to be better than today, then it may just be where you're standing. And if you'll stand a little bit closer to Jesus, and if you'll say yes to a relationship with him, if you'll surrender your life to him, can I tell you there's hope that'll be coming in. Your circumstances might not change. Darkness may be all around you. But come on, can we go back to Proverbs 31? The light that is in the church will not be extinguished no matter how dark your life gets. It didn't say that darkness wouldn't be around you.
Yeah.
In fact, he said the opposite. He said, in this world you will have trouble. But take heart, because why? Because we're awesome? No, because he has already overcome the world. Come on, your hope rests in a relationship with Jesus. So right there in your seats, right where you are, just bow your head, close your eyes. If you're here and you're already a follower of Jesus and you're lacking hope, then can I tell you it might be where you're standing. So get back in the game. 2021, get back in the game. Start serving again. Start giving again. Start showing up again. When you live 2 miles from the church, and somehow Satan has worked his head, his mind into your thoughts, and he said, it's okay, just sit there in your PJs. Come on, man, engage in this thing. We're in a battle. And the church is missing a part of its body when you're not here. Let's engage. If you're here and you've never said yes to a relationship with Jesus, can I tell you today's the day? Today's the day that you realize that he came for you. And that he's been building you the whole time. I don't know what your life looks like. I don't know how crazy it's been. I don't know how hopeless you feel. But at the end of the day, I know that Jesus says, I will build my church. And the gates of hell will not prevail against it. That's you. If you'll just say yes to a relationship with Jesus. The Bible says that if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, then you will be saved. This isn't a could be, might be, get your act together, get yourself cleaned up first. No. This is a if you will say that Jesus is Lord. And if you actually believe that he rose from the dead on the third day, come on, the Bible says you will be saved. You will be a new creation today. Sin separates you and I from a holy and just God. But God sent his son, Jesus, to become your sin, to die as your sin, so that you could have a brand new life. We want you to make that decision today. So at every location, I'm going to turn it over to our campus pastors. The bands are going to come up. And you're going to have an opportunity today to say yes to a relationship with Jesus. So I'm going to turn it over to them now. And I'm going to take you guys right here. So right where you're at. Every head bowed, every eye closed. If you've never said yes to a relationship with Jesus, today's the day. Today's the day that you're going all in. Today's the day that you're engaging. All right, so right where you are, we're not going to make you stand, call you down front. Just on the count of 3, all I want you to do is just lift your hand just right where you are. It's just a show from your heart to God's. God, I'm surrendering today. I'm giving you my life. Come on, just right where you are. Are you ready? On the count of 3, here we go. Just lift them up right where you are. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Just lift them up. Keep them up for just a second. Yeah, I see you here. Yeah, I see you. I'm going to lead you in this prayer. There's nothing special about this. What's special is what you just did. That you just surrendered your life to Jesus and said, God, I can't do it on my own. There's something that's separating me, and God, I need it to be gone. And the only way that it can be gone is through what you did for me on the cross. Come on, that's what's special. So just right where you are, underneath your breath, you can repeat this prayer. It's just to help you. Just right there where you are, say, Jesus, I need you. Come into my life and forgive me. God, I'm jacked up, messed up, and I'm broken. God, you came for me. And I recognize that right now. So God, take my sin. Separate them from me. God, give me brand new life today. God, I engage in a relationship with you. And I celebrate the new life that you've given me. Right now, and if you prayed that prayer, if that was your hand, Church Online, if you click the button, can I tell you today you're a brand new creation if that was your thoughts and if that was your prayer, if that was your hand. So come on, church, can we celebrate those hands right here in Enterprise? 2 hands in Enterprise, Church Online, Ozark. Man, come on, this is why we do what we do right here, so that people can say yes to a relationship with Jesus, so that they can know that they are the church, so that they can grasp that there is a promise. And the promise is that Jesus will continually build you no matter what's going on in your life. That the gates of hell will not prevail against you. Come on, somebody, stand to your feet right now. Stand to your feet. What happened in 2020 is old news. What's going to happen in 2021 is going to be greater than we ever thought. Come on, because God is a God who can take old and he can make it brand new. God is a God that can take circumstances that were not good and he can make them good for those who love him and call on the name of the Lord. Come on, somebody. Now he's going to take what was broken and he's going to make it whole. He's going to take hearts that were full and he's going to make them fuller. Come on, somebody. He's going to bring restoration where things were broken. Come on, right now he's going to turn mourning into dancing. We're going to deliver it. We're going to believe it with our hearts, and we're going to go into 2021 going, God, you will build your church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Come on, church, sing this out right now.
You turn mourning to dancing. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You turn grace into gardens. You turn bones into wonders. You turn seas into highways. You're the only one who can. You're the only one who can.
Now sing this out.
Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing. Nothing is better than you. Sing it out to you, Lord. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing. Nothing is better than you. Come on. You turn grace into gardens. Come on. You turn bones into armies. And you turn seas into highways. You're the only one who can. You're the only one who can. You're the only one who can. Thank y'all so much. We hope you have a great week, and we'll see you back next Sunday.
Man, guys, what an incredible message. I'm so grateful that you were here. Have a great rest of the week, and I will see you next year. Get it?